a little bit to not the junior partner, but to the senior partner, as you mentioned earlier, China. There is also naturally the hypothesis that right now there is this competition between America and China for primacy in the world. There is the Thucydides trap, so to say, saying that there is a greater risk for war when there is a risk that one country could overtake another hegemonic country. Do you believe that China is right now trying to somehow take this advantage and maybe try to do something on its own in Taiwan, for example, or anywhere else with the Philippines in the South China Sea?
China has its own so-called grand strategy. And the first phase of this grand strategy, its implementation is to become a regional hegemon, and then to become global hegemon by using its economic power, by becoming now its second world economy, but it has ambition to become number one economic power in the world. And of course, China and to its leader Xi Jinping, he will be trying to bring Taiwan under control of the Chinese Popular Republic. He will mainland China. He will be trying to do this. And to me, the most dangerous period right now is till the year 2027. This is when his new term in power ends, and he wants to go down in history as a Chinese leader who brought back Taiwan. He will be trying to do this. And I'm afraid that there might be coordination between Russia and China. I suspect that might have been from the very beginning a tacit agreement between two powers, between two countries in this regard. And it seems to me that at least diplomatically it's visible. They're trying to help each other in this way. So it might be a very dangerous situation for the whole world, because any disruption of order in the Taiwan Strait might have unpredictable results. It might lead to global conflict, and it's very dangerous for Ukraine, and it's also dangerous for the global security and what we know as the rules-based order for international law.
Yes, this relationship is certainly something people need to keep an eye on. We remember that President Xi Jinping and Putin, they met during the military build-up before the invasion, and famously President Xi Jinping said that there is no limit to the alliance or relationship between China and Russia. And quickly after the Olympics were over, the invasion started. Previously here we spoke about one concept of the Polish interwar leader Józef Piłsudski, about prometheism, meaning breaking up the Soviet Union into its component parts. But he had another as well, the so-called intermarium, which he tried to implement immediately after the First World War. It was basically an idea of building a large regional alliance, maybe even a confederation of states from Finland in the north to an independent Ukraine, Poland, and even further down south. Do you think that today there is an opportunity to try to create this regional coalition that is strong enough to stand up against not just Russia, but technically any power that would be willing to take away our sovereignty?
To me, it's a great idea, and it's a great geopolitical project. To tell you the truth, I have always been interested in Pilsudski's idea of międzymorze, intermarium. Now we are talking about Trójmorze. I think it's very logical and geopolitically very rational and productive idea, which should be implemented. I believe that the core of this idea might be very close ties, maybe common market, maybe even confederation between, first of all, three states: Ukraine, Poland, and Lithuania, because we have common historical roots, but most importantly, we have common future. And when we stay together, we have already proved ourselves as very powerful force. We have already proved this politically. And economically, we can create very interesting and important organization. And of course we should look at this bigger terms. Not only these three countries, more countries who would like to join these. And at the same time, this concept, this geopolitical formation, uh, in my opinion, should have very strong transatlantic ties with the United States, and we should rely on the United States as one of our closest friends and allies. And to me, this project makes a lot of sense, and I believe that future belongs to the implementation of this geopolitical idea.
As you mentioned, there are already some embryos, you could say, when it comes to Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine. We have the so-called Lublin Triangle between the countries. We also remember that there was I think it was in 2019, when they found the remains of Kalinowski in Vilnius. He was a commander of the 1863-64 January revolution against Russia. And back then, even Belarus sent a representative to participate in this event when he was buried again in Vilnius. Naturally, after what happened in 2020 and 2022, right now relations with Belarus are impossible. But potentially in the future, with an independent and free Belarus, maybe this Lublin Triangle could be expanded to a Lublin 4, so to say. But returning to the Three Seas Initiative, or Trójmorze, the Polish name that you used, during the annual summit in Riga in 2022, Ukraine became a so-called participating partner. So now officially Ukraine is part of the project. And when the Polish President Andrzej Duda met with President Zelensky a little bit before the invasion, President Zelensky was mentioning that maybe there could be a railway, a high-speed railway built from Kiev to Warsaw in the framework of the Three Seas Initiative. Is the Three Seas Initiative something that people are starting to discuss in Ukraine currently?
Yes, and we've been discussing this project even before the full-scale invasion. We in the parliament even we had created a special group of members of parliament in support of this initiative, through Moja, Three Seas Initiative. But because of the full-scale war, we sort of put it on the back burner, so to speak. But I'm sure that we will return to this idea because it's very productive. And secondly, the war has proved that we need all these three countries and more countries. We need to implement this idea. Of course, and you're absolutely right, there are good prospects for Belarus joining this initiative. And I'm sure that it's inevitable that Belarus will be free and democratic. And to me, the best sign of it is that the resistance of Belarusian people in Belarus after rigged elections of dictator Lukashenko. I was surprised to see full-scale revolution, popular revolution in Belarus, and to me is a sign that civic society in Belarus is already ready to make Belarus a democratic, European, free country.
Yes, and it's worth noting here as well that apart just from these so-called railway partisans that were making some problems for the Russian invasion initially, there has also been the Kalinowski regiment, which together with the Georgians, I believe, is the most numerous contingent of foreign volunteer troops fighting on the Ukrainian side. A final question, when it comes to the continuation of the war, what do you believe is needed for a Russian a Russian defeat and a Ukrainian victory? What would the West need to do, but also what would Ukrainian society need to do to win the war?
Well, first of all, of course, we need in terms of quality and in terms of quantity, weaponry, the necessary weaponry, long range, because we're talking about war of attrition. And to win the war of attrition, we need long range missiles, military aircraft, and we also need constant support, economic support, because the truth is that next year there will be a huge deficit of budget, Ukrainian budget, up to 40 billion US dollars. And one third of our economy has been already destroyed by Russia, and Russia continues to destroy our economy, hoping to turn us into failed state. That's why we need constant support. As for Ukrainian society, we need, first of all, unity in political elites also. In my opinion, we should put away all political ambitions, all political disagreements, and in the face of mortal danger, in the face of ruthless enemy who is committing genocide against Ukrainian nation, we should be united. We should be united. Ukrainian society, Ukrainian political elites, and we should do everything to exert every effort to win the war. We are determined, we are motivated to defend ourselves, but we should be prepared for a marathon. The war has been continuing for almost 2 years, and we don't know for how many more years the war will drag on. But we should be prepared for that. And, the good thing is that we feel support of our friends, and there have been numerous times stated that the Western countries, our friends, will support us as long as it takes. But I would like to have ending for this phrase: as long as it takes to defeat Russia and for Ukraine to achieve victory.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Merezkho. I hope that in a couple of months we will be able to speak again, and that by then we will have F-16s flying over the skies of Ukraine and Taurus missiles also being available. Thank you very much for this conversation, and hope to see you again.